Welcome to MCCT, Microcrawler Capability Test. That's where we test and compare the driving performance and capability of micro trucks and microcrawlers from 1 to 18th to 1 to 24th scale. Trucks in stock condition as well as highly modified and upgraded ones. The trucks have to pass through 10 different tests. We'll get either points for their results or their performance will be graded, and the final scores will reveal the most capable microcrawlers. We check their climbing ability, descent performance, their tilt angle, their performance in overcoming easy and difficult obstacles, and their low speed modulation and low speed driving performance. Check the description for details of tests, scores, and mode of grading. Now let's start and present this episode's test trucks. In MCCT episode 31, we will test the Traxxas TRX-4M for Bronco, and we will test the Austar AX8560. The TRX-4M Bronco has a wheelbase of 150 mm and 492 grams. It runs on BF Goodrich Mud Terrain T8 tires with 56 by 22 mm and has a 87 turn 180 motor. And it runs on a 2S LiPo with 750 mAh. The Austar AX8560 has a wheelbase of 150 mm and a weight of 567 grams. It runs on Austar Super Swamper tires with 60 by 22 mm. It has a 260 motor and runs on a 2S 650 mAh lithium-ion battery. And now let's check how this episode's test trucks perform. Test number 1. Climb on a rough surface. 45 degrees, no problem for the TRX-4M, and for the Austar 47 degrees. Easy for the Bronco, and the Austar seems to be easy too. And 48 degrees, lifting its front tire, but easy for the TRX-4M. But the Austar is in troubles. It's tipping over. Come on. 47 degrees still seem to be easy, no problem at all. But 48 degrees, really in troubles. Will it be able to climb? Come on. No. Come on, Austar. Only 48 degrees. Come on. No, too much. And 49 degrees for the Bronco. Seems easy for the TRX-4M. 50 degrees. Come on. And it can also do 50 degrees with a hard body. That's quite okay. 51 degrees. Come on, little Bronco. And now it also tips over. Second try. Come on. Come on. But it tips over. 51 degrees. Too much for the little Bronco. So here are the results of test 1. 50 degrees for the TRX-4M Bronco and 5 points for this, and 47 degrees for the Austar and only 2 points for this. Under 49 trucks tested so far, that's a shared place 26 for the TRX-4M Bronco and a shared place 39 for the Austar AX8560. And now let's check their abilities on a smooth surface. Climb on a smooth surface, test 2. 45 degrees, no problems for the TRX-4M, but the Austar seems already to struggle. Wow, 46 degrees for the Austar, and it's in problems. Come on, that's only 46 degrees. But the Austar Jeep is already in troubles. It's struggling hard. Come on, that's only 46 degrees. Why is he in such troubles here? He's always sliding to the right side and even falls. Come on, that's only 46 degrees. Come on, unbelievable. It falls. But finally it manages to do 46 degrees and 47 degrees for the Austar. That's not steep at all. Strong slide to the right side and it falls too much. For the TRX-4M, no problem. 49 degrees, 2 degrees more for the TRX-4M. And now it's also struggling. Tires are slipping, not very sticky. But those slipping tires save it from falling down. And 50 degrees for the TRX-4M. It's really struggling. But the slipping tires help from falling down and tilting. 51 degrees. Will it even be able to do 51 degrees? Here, non-sticky tires really seem to help. Come on, you can do it. 51 degrees. More than on a rough surface. Come on, little Bronco. Come on, you do it. Come on. No, it falls. Come on. Come on. 51 degrees, but that was too much for the little Bronco. It nearly did it. So here the results of test 2, climb on a smooth surface. The Bronco nearly did 51 degrees, so we give 50.5 and 5.5 points for this. But the Austar only could do 46 degrees and only 1 point in test number 2. And under 49 trucks tested so far, that's place 25 for the TRX-4M Bronco and place 43, a shared place 43 for the Austar AX8560. And now let's check how the trucks can go down, stop and go up in reverse again. 45 degrees. And the TRX-4M is already in troubles. This is this super hard drag brake in crawler mode and very poor throttle response. The Austar has much better throttle response and no hard drag brake, so it seems to be easier. 45 degrees for the Austar. And let's check 47 degrees. Super difficult for the Bronco because of this hard drag brake. It nearly falls, but finally going up is not a problem at all anymore. And now the Austar falls too, but starting here is much easier with the Austar and it can do it. And 48 degrees. TRX-4M Bronco, and it falls. And now we changed to forward brake reverse mode without hard drag brake, Stopping is super difficult with this, but it falls through. And also the Austar falls 48 degrees, too steep for both trucks, only 47 degrees and only 1 point in test number 3 descent for the TRX-4M Bronco and the Austar AX8560. And out of 49 trucks tested so far, that's place 32, a shared place 32 for both trucks. And now let's check the tilt angles of today's test trucks. TRX-4M to the left, 39.5 degrees. And Austar to the left, 42.6 degrees. TRX-4M to the right, 39.45 degrees. Austar to the right, 42.4 degrees. And here the results of tests 4 and 5, tilt angle to the left and to the right. The TRX-4M Bronco, 39.5 degrees and 3.75 points for this to the left, and 39.45 degrees and 3.73 points for this. And the Austar AX8560, 42.6 degrees to the left and 5.3 points for this, and 42.4 degrees to the right and 5.2 points for this. And under 49 trucks tested so far, that's place 20 for the Austar AX8560 and place 31 for the TRX Bronco. And now let's check how those trucks can climb. Test number 6, the flat side of the hill of branches, no problem at all for the TRX-4M Bronco, and also not for the Austar, not in low, medium or high speed, which can be controlled electronically by the remote control in the Austar. So 2 out of 2 points for both trucks in test number 6. Test number 7, the steep side of the hill of branches. Probably the most difficult obstacle of MCCT. A lot of trucks fail here, but the TRX-4M Bronco, it seems to be easy for it. It needs a little bit of speed. It cannot do it slow, but with a little bit of speed, no big problem. Thumbs up. And also the Austar can do it, but it does have way more troubles or problems than the TRX-4M. It originally does come with a trailer hitch mounted, which has been removed for those tests. And this trailer hitch in this test would act like a kind of wheelie bar and keeps it from tipping over. So here without wheelie bar, and the main problem of the Austar here, it's 70 grams heavier than the TRX-4M, but those are the wheels, tires and shocks. It's super bouncy here, and even if the tires are way more sticky than the TRX-4M tires, really nice sticky tires, it does come with foams inside and quite hard foams. And this makes it super bouncy. And also the shocks probably. The TRX-4M doesn't come with foams inside, and this helps here. But if the Austar picks the right line and with a little bit of speed, it's able to do it in low, medium and high speed. The Austar has 3 speeds electronically controlled by a radio, no mechanical 2-speed transmission or 3-speed transmission. And here the results. Test 7, steep hill of branches, steep side of the hill of branches. The TRX-4M Bronco was really good. 7 out of 10 points here. The best trucks can do this obstacle. Low speed, high speed. The Bronco needs a little bit of speed, but then it's easy for it. And the Austar could do it too. So both trucks with hard body were able to climb the steep side of the hill of branches. What is really good, a lot of trucks fail here. However, the Austar did have a lot of problems, and by far not every attempt was successful. So 2 out of 10 points for the Austar in test number 7. Test number 8, the flat side of the hill of pebblestones. No problem at all for the Traxxas TRX-4M. And no problem for the Austar. So 2 out of 2 points here for both trucks. Test number 9, the steep side of the hill of Pebblestones. Super difficult obstacle, and the TRX-4M Bronco seems to be in troubles here. But no, it could do it. Little bit of slipping, but as soon as it climbs the first step, it's easy. That's really good performance here. Wow, this is absolutely, it slips sometimes. That's a difficult obstacle, but this performance here, for example, check this out. Right line, first step, and then awesome. Even if it doesn't have sticky tires. Tires of the Bronco are way less sticky than the tires of the Austar, but it's controllable and really good performance. And the Austar, it's in trouble too. It has much stickier, grippier tires than the TRX-4M Bronco, but this doesn't help here because it's much more bouncy because of the foams and the low quality shocks probably. So it's really struggling. Come on. But it also can do it, and as soon as it has climbed the very first step, it's really controllable on the top of the hill. Super smooth stones, but its tires here, they are sticky and quite easily controllable. That's totally the contrary, for example, to the tires of the FCX18 LC80. Here, that's really good too. So test 9 results. Super difficult test. The TRX-4M Bronco. Wow, performance here. Who would have expected this? And 7 out of 10 points at test number 9. And the Austar AX8560 was struggling more, clearly more than the Bronco. And 3 out of 10 points here for the Austar. The last test of MCCT. Test number 10. Low speed performance and modulation. Unfortunately, that's the biggest weakness of the Traxxas TRX-4M Bronco. Low speed performance is really not good. It's nearly impossible to go really slow. Performance is not super bad, but there are so many trucks which are clearly better. You can see it here. To go slow is nearly impossible, to go really slow. It can climb those steps, but it's too fast. It's impossible to stop at the edge. That's with stock gears, not with roller gears. It has quite a bit of punch, so it's fun to drive. But better electronics, a better ESC would improve this truck so much, and ESC whining is super loud in the Traxxas TRX-4M. Annoying loud whining of the ESC, but we do not judge noise here at MCCT. And the Austar, low speed setting, it has 3 settings: low, medium, high speed, electronically controlled speed by radio. And what do you hear? Nothing. This ESC is absolutely silent. We do not judge noise here, but that's probably the very first out of the box ESC or truck without any whining of the ESC. Even the SCX24 V2 electronics, a little bit of whining is there. And control is wow. For a ready to run, out of the box brushed truck, this is absolutely fantastic. But it lacks crawler mode. Now, medium speed, and even on medium speed, it can go super slow and it's super nicely controllable. It can climb the step, can stop. Wow, and completely silent, but no crawler mode, only forward, brake, reverse. And quite a bit of punch. First gear, second gear even more, and high gear even more. But you can see it here on high speed setting. Even here it's probably better than the Traxxas TRX-4M. On high gear you can go slowlier and you can go continuously slowly. And of course a lot of punch. Absolutely fantastic performance for a $80 truck. Again, low speed. Wow. Very, very good. As good as the best trucks out so far with brushed motors, the best micro trucks. So test 10 low speed performance and modulation. The TRX-4M Bronco gets 1.5 points out of 5. No super bad performance, but far from good. And the Austar AX8560 gets 3.5 points out of 5. That's the same score as the FCX24 or the Hobby Plus with the new electronics did gain. It has some disadvantages, but we do not judge this here. It has no crawler mode, so only forward, brake, reverse mode, and reverse is much slower than forward. What's really annoying mainly in low speed or first gear, however you want to call it. But the low speed performance and modulation, absolutely fantastic. And now we come to the final score of MCCT episode 31. Traxxas TRX-4M Bronco and Austar AX8560. Here again, all tests performed and all points gained. Very interesting comparing those two trucks. The chassis is very similar. The Austar is a kind of copy of the TRX-4M with a different motor and much better electronics. First of all, both trucks are hard body trucks and both could perform all 10 tests, didn't have one failure, what is a very good result for both. The Traxxas TRX-4M has way more points, 38.48 points, than the Austar with 27 points. It was much better in tests 1 and 2, climbing. Reason for this, maybe because it's 75 grams lighter than the Austar, maybe because of its better shocks, or maybe because of the spare tire. The TRX-4M doesn't have a real spare tire, only a case, while the Austar does have a real working spare tire, including rims and tires. But the Austar was much better in tests 4 and 5, tilt angle. That's also interesting. What could be the reason for this? Because the Traxxas does have way better shocks, oil-filled shocks, than the Austar. Maybe because the TRX-4M Bronco doesn't have tire foams, and that's why it fell earlier. And those missing foams probably were also a reason for the better performance of the TRX-4M in tests 7 and 9, the steep side of the Hill of Branches and the steep side of the Hill of Pebblestones. Super difficult tests. The Austar had problems because it was so bouncy. It could do those tests. Really good performance for a out-of-the-box truck with hard body, but main problem, bounciness. And maybe without foams it would already have performed better there in those tests because the tires are really good, very, very sticky, much better than the tires of the TRX-4M, and probably the shocks are also a reason for this. The TRX-4M shocks are really quite good or really good for out-of-the-box shocks, and the Austar shocks are quite bouncy. Electronics, low speed modulation are way better in the Austar. That's quite poor and the biggest disadvantage in the TRX-4M. However, both really good results for out-of-the-box trucks with hard bodies. And we can see here under 49 trucks tested so far, that's place 20 for the Austar AX8560 with 27 points, even a little bit better than the FCX24 stock, and the TRX-4M Bronco on place 16 with 38.48 points, even a tiny little bit better than the FCX18 LC80, which was fantastic, and that's the best result of all out-of-the-box trucks with hard body tested so far. So thumbs up. Who would have expected this, that the TRX-4M Bronco performs that well? And that's it for MCCT episode 31. But watch out for the next episodes of MCCT. There are still a lot of trucks to be tested. MCCT will be back.